superhero movies didn't start out as movies. They started out as comics. Whether it was the Superman comics, the Batman comics, the Wonder Woman comics, the Iron Man comics, that's where all the superhero movies we have today came from. But the first real superhero movie was really in 1978 with the Superman. And then after that came Batman in 1989. And despite the early successes of these couple movies, it took about a decade for superhero movies to really get going in Hollywood. The first big one was in 2000. It was the X-Men series. And then after that, it was Spider-Man in 2002. And then after Spider-Man, along came the Batman series, which really sparked all the new superhero movies. But in 2008, Marvel announced that the publishers of Spider-Man, Iron Man, Hulk were all going to produce films that happened in the same universe to hopefully do the Avengers in 2012. But along with these classic superhero movies came the parodies. Like, an example would be My Super Ex-Girlfriend or the Superhero movie. But whether it's a classic superhero movie or a revisionist superhero movie or a parody superhero movie, they all really do have a couple things in common. The cinematic elements in superhero movies contribute to the anxiety and determination portrayed in the scenarios of saving the world. And the movie that I looked at in particular, the scene that I chose, was a scene from Iron Man 3, which I would consider a revisionist superhero movie. The scene I looked at was when Iron Man Tony Stark was going to save the Air Force One plane when it had the traumatic event. So here we go. So I just had to record it on my computer. That's the only way I could get it to work, but here's the scene. So right off the bat, we have a close-up on his face showing his determination not to save the world, but to destroy it. And we have the close-up on his face showing his true emotion and scaredness, or fear that he has. And then the scene moves to the Central Communications room, and they're just trying to figure out what's happening. Again, we just have close-ups on their face, kind of showing their confusion. The close-ups really just show emotion. And throughout this whole scene, we have restricted narration. We know as much as the characters do. We're following the script we're following the things that they're saying. And with this restricted narration, it leads to surprise. So it kind of is anxiety because we don't know what's going to happen, and that's kind of where the anxiety comes into this. And now here comes Iron Man. He's going to save the day. So here we have kind of a medium shot, and now we have a close-up. So the medium shot is just kind of an establishing shot showing us who the characters are in this scene. And now we pretty much are just sticking to close-ups of both of their faces, showing their determination in one to destroy the other. And now we have a full shot of the plane and the hole in the side of it. Again, the full shot's just showing us what is happening. And all of this, now the people are flying out of the plane. Again, just a full shot showing us what's happening. And everyone is pretty much just authentic clothes, authentic airplane, except for Tony Stark, of course, in his Iron Man suit. That's just so we know who to follow, who to watch him, and we just know that that's his determination to save the world. So now we have long shots just establishing, or full shots just establishing the people falling. And then we're going to have a close-up here on his face, just showing his determination to save the world. Close-up on her face, showing her emotion. And throughout this whole scene, we pretty much just have high-key lighting. And I think that's just because there's a lot going on. So if they were playing with the lighting at the same time, it would get too distracting. So again, just a close-up on his face, you can really see his determination and his focus on what he wants to do. And so throughout that whole scene, all the different elements kind of work together to show the cinematography of the cinematography of that scene all kind of lead to, us seeing Tony Stark determined, and he's kind of anxious, and the not knowing what's going to happen makes us anxious, and we're just right there along with him. So I picked this scene because it is not a classic or a parody, it's a revisionist. I consider it as a revisionist superhero movie. I just think that it really kind of captures the classic elements of superhero movies, but it's got its own kind of humorous twist on it. If you've seen Iron Man 3, you know that Tony Stark's humor can be really great at times. But I really think this scene just really, I think that this scene shows what superhero movies are all about. You know, it's about action, it's about saving the world, and I really like this scene, and I think it's a good demonstration of what superhero movies are and what they're coming to be.